Jovi's happy, and yeah, good game, sis. I'm like, fuck you, Jovi. And he just looked at me. He's like, Tosh, don't be like that. And I'm like, no, dude, fuck you.
Some questions you quickly learn are unacceptable to ask. You will find no official answers, just denial. Hello, my name's John, and I look at history, and not in the typical way. I feel it's my duty to look at things differently, just in case what we have been told is wrong. If most people think one way, I think it's important to be neutral, maybe not taking any sides. Where are we? It says Chinatown. There's many Chinatowns. I think every major city has a little section called Chinatown. And I thought we'd look into Chinatowns. Are they really very Chinese? Let's drop the man down here and see how Chinese it looks. Here's a bank. HSBC. I hate acronyms, like some club. And it looks closed. And there is some Chinese on this sign. This must say HSBC, of course. And look at this building. Does this look Chinese? Where are we? Oh, Chinatown. Somewhere in Chinatown. It doesn't look very Chinese. What about this photo? Oh, this doesn't look very Chinese either. That kind of looked like a bridge. Maybe this one. Let's drop the man. And here we go. Very triumphal. Kind of a tight squeeze for all this traffic. Really special arch. For what? For these cars? Let's have a look inside here. Really beautiful bottlenecking feature here. Should be like in a park. I mean, when was this built? Was it really that important? I mean, this must have cost millions here. Anyway, back to Chinatown. So what is the history of this un-Chinese area? Let's find out. Thank you for being here this week. I love you all. God bless and welcome. Welcome. So Chinatown, or if you're from somewhere else, China. China. So I was actually watching this video by this channel UA Eats, and he was going to try a pizza. I'm not sure how good the pizza was. It really didn't look that good. It was expensive, and it was dry. But right away, this old world building that it was in caught my eye. And that's usually what happens. Anything I'm watching seems to take me back into history and begin asking questions. Why is this building in Chinatown? Why don't any of the buildings in Chinatown have any Chinese features? Okay, this is a new restaurant. This is a pizza place. And of course, on this channel, we discuss every aspect of this. Forget Chinatown, we discuss every city throughout the realm. How they're all built out completely in the 1800s, looking like they do today, without the machinery and heavy equipment, without telephones, doing everything by mail, without addresses before a city. How do you build a city in this time period? And the point is, everything looks the same today. It's all the same. All these buildings, these brick buildings, are the same ones. Everything is the same. We have done nothing but move in. And in this case, the Chinese moved in. And many other, as we're told, immigrants move in. And did they just move in? I mean, I think everybody did. You know what I think. But will the narrative tell us that? You have all these neighborhoods in New York, for example, Italian, Chinese, Irish, and will the narrative tell us that each respective people built their neighborhoods? And spoiler alert, yes. And just look at it. I think the inheritors of this neighborhood put up these cheap ladders and signs, and that's about it. Stuck some air conditioning units in the windows, gave us a new date, and business as usual. Everybody is clueless. Why? Because they don't or are afraid to ask the difficult questions. And most people are busy trying to convince everybody that they're normal. And the truth is, nobody's normal. Just some people play a good part, get the grade, but I think deep inside everybody questions. And here we are in Chinatown. At some point in this video, I paused and took a screenshot. And he was on the corner of Little Italy and something. And that's when I hit pause and decided to make this video. Let's ring the bell. Okay, so Chinatown, Manhattan. It's a neighborhood bordering the Lower East Side, Little Italy, and Tribeca to the west. And nothing about any of this is going to make any sense. They are laughing at us. And all of these old features are years away from disappearing. But the truth is they don't need to disappear, because most people don't see them. It has an estimated population of about 100,000 people. There we go. Today. The Chinatown is one of 9 Chinatown neighborhoods in New York. History. Some man is claimed to have arrived in 1850. The first Chinese person. Here we go. This is how it begins. Some man. He eventually founded a successful cigar store. He first arrived around 1858, where he was probably one of those Chinese mentioned in gossip of the 1860s. So this is history? This is serious? Can anyone take this seriously? He was probably one of those Chinese. Unbelievable. In the 1850s, the California Gold Rush brought a wave of Chinese to the United States. So here we go. We're explaining why there's a Chinatown, the history of Chinatown in New York City. Okay, so really nothing. Here we can see Chinatown in 1938, very early time period. Signage, some ornaments here, some Chinese-looking metalwork, streets of brick with railroad tracks. A real hybrid here. Here's what the AI has to say. Manhattan's Chinatown was not built by a single individual, but rather grew organically as a community of Chinese immigrants. It began in Lower Manhattan, and they attribute key figures like Luk Tin Ely, who spearheaded the rebuilding after a fire. So a man named Luk Tin, and again this man named Ah Ken, are key players in developing Chinatown. So who's really building this part of the city? I mean, right away it exists, all made of brick, old world features, and what we see today, in my opinion, is just a facade dealing with a problem 100 years ago. Designating an area as Chinatown. Everything would have to be redesignated if what we research is true. If you're going to demolish something, you have to tell us it was temporary, like a World's Fair. Or you tell us there was a fire, or in modern times, you tell us the building doesn't meet present-day codes and was unsafe. By 1870, there was a Chinese population of 200. By 1882, there were 2,000 residents. By 1900, 7,000. Does it make sense? I don't think so. Especially when we really look carefully. This in Chinatown? I mean, the whole video could be about the individual buildings in Chinatown. What about this bridge? Is it even a bridge? Let's take a pause. The Manhattan Bridge Arch and Colonnade Landmark. What is it? It was designed by some architect in the early 20th century, inspired by Bernini's colonnade at St. Peter's Square in Rome. Okay, but this is the Vatican. I mean, that's pretty ambitious for some bridge. It was the third bridge to cross the East River, after the Brooklyn Bridge in 1867, the Williamsburg Bridge in 1896, and they say the Manhattan Bridge was considered quite ugly. Considered quite ugly? So here, this is just a random art before you cross the bridge here. Crossing the bridge, and this bridge is built in the 1800s. And it was considered ugly. What do we have here? Some features on the other side of the bridge. Let's drop the man here. And here is the other side of the bridge. What? Why? It looks like they're dumbing it down compared to the other side. And whoever built the bridge built the building. Same hand. Really a lot of bridges. Everything was done according to history. Chinese had their own little town complete with bridges. And let's get right into the heart of it. Boom. Here we go. So what about this is Chinese? I'm sure they mean well with these ladders, but they sure are ugly. Just junking up the building. And forget about what the building used to look like on the bottom floor. I won't even comment. But this is Chinatown. The most un-Chinese architecture ever. Super beautiful. Seems like every building has the Green Man on it. And this is just a real slap in the face. And honestly, there's nothing Chinese about it. There's nothing really American about it. There's no explanation. There's not enough time or people to build all these buildings in this time period. And every single one of them is overly beautified. And it just makes no sense. Let's take a little pause. So who were these people? We of course discussed Tartaria, and it's a stepping stone into this research. Why do we see thousands of books and maps showing a nation up here called Tartaria, and no mention of them in mainstream history? Most of us discovered the subject here on YouTube. And it's a fascinating topic with poor explanations. And even with so many people researching this now, there are so many questions left. It's not just what happened to these people, but what happened to all the people. Now, personally, I think there was what we call the reset, or many resets. And everything we see, all cities, are left over. We give all kinds of dates, 1800s, going back many thousands of years, we are told. And yet they all fit under this umbrella of research. How did people, as little as 150 years ago, build anything, and survive without electricity and plumbing, machinery, and cranes to build all of this? Everything we see, every building, including small ones in Chinatown or large extravagant ones in random countries, nothing has a good explanation. It's almost easier to explain away things today because people are so afraid to appear foolish. They won't even dare ask the questions. When I saw this building, I was really taken back. This mosque, it wasn't any of these pictures. It was this one on the inside. It was a video on YouTube, and I don't know why. Felt like a place I'd been before. Doesn't make any sense. Very eerie, and it doesn't seem mosque-like. We saw all the bricked up windows here. Nothing has a good explanation. Everything really unnecessary today. Certainly it would have been several hundred years ago. And yet I think every part of it was built with intention and purpose that is lost to us as a people. All teched out and massive. Sorry, a loud jet is flying overhead, the sound bouncing off the firmament. And who were these people? How many people have been forgotten? And we talk about giants, of course, the Tartarians, but do we really even know? I mean, skulls like this are not on display in the United States, but you can see them in Peru. Peru seems really proud of their cone heads, and they're continuously excavating these cone heads. Like there was a whole race of people with different shaped heads. Did they have bigger brains? And some people, mainstream mostly, tell us this was a practice. People would tie up their heads like this. But I don't think that's what we're seeing here. This is a regular sized head that has been squeezed. That's not the same as this. And surely there would be people around that still carry this gene. And I don't think the genes have been completely erased. Something that would slip through the cracks like a anomaly. And recently a Patreon shared one such example with me. And it was shared by Brian Forrester. And this man actually works at a bank in Peru. And what we can see when we look at statues in Egypt is these people had these same long heads. Really impressive work here. Look at the lips, the nose. I mean, they could have done anything. Whatever shape they were looking for. And yet this is what they gave us. Over and over. Cone heads. And are they still amongst us? Was this the reason for the top hat? In the history we have a race of dog people called the Cynocephalus, an ancient race of dog-headed men. Again, is it just folly? I mean, what if a bunch of dog heads built the old world? Would that not be enough reason to rewrite history? Perhaps it would be a kind gesture, the controllers might think, to rewrite our history. Or even a race of coneheads. Could we handle the truth as a people? And I think you know the answer to that. Most people cannot handle even the very basic questions we ask. Things they see every day on their way to work. So, as always, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for joining me. I love you all. Do have a blessed day and week. Join us on Patreon. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.